say here can be used against you in court?
Yeah, I'm fully people for that. I look over there and I see that man there, Mr. Norwalk. I want to thank you, sir, for making the tapes in an illegal fashion. And look at me, completely rehabilitated, reinvigorated, reassimilated, and finally going to be relocated.
So my judge, you better let me off. You better let me off. I'm accused.
You can't fuck with Red Glove on his war state. How about that?
I ain't really changed. It's the same old rebel. Still a radical. I'm passionate. It's just another level. AT told me I should fight back. They don't like that. Just know if you rock the boat, you better have a life raft. BJ told me I should fight back. They don't like that. Just know if you rock the boat, you better have a life raft.
What up, everyone in the YTBC? A big shout out to the UGC, hashtag Come Back to Boxing, and the NBBC. When you get a chance, please go to the description box of this video. I put the links to all my brothers there. Please give them a listen, and if you feel compelled to do so, please subscribe. Now, I understand I'm a little late to the party on this news, but better late than never. Also, I just had some content that I wanted to put out that was a little bit different from what everybody else was putting out. But I do want to touch on this, and this isn't the only thing I'm going to touch on in this video in regards to Whyte. But first, I did want to go ahead and, just in case you didn't know, Whyte was cleared by UKAD. The whole situation really never made any sense to me. How in the world UKAD could catch something that VADA wasn't never made sense. And it just seemed a little fishy. Now, I didn't really want to give any point of view until everything came out, because the last time I gave my point of view on something that had to do with a PED scandal, it didn't end too well. More information just comes out. So Whyte got supposedly busted, and I was like, you know what, I'm keeping my mouth shut, because when I spoke out on Povetkin when he got popped, there was just a lot. It was a very big shitstorm for me. And I found that some people, they just didn't like what I had to say about Povetkin when that went down. More information came out later, and I learned from that experience. So I try my best not to talk about when, I might talk about when a fighter is popped, but I'm a little bit more hesitant to give my thoughts on it because of my experiences in the past. So I reserve judgment. Now UKAD has cleared Whyte, and it just never made any sense how that whole situation went down. And I'm gonna warn you, what I'm about to say is gonna be 100% conspiracy theory, but I believe this was to reset the timer for Whyte being mandatory for Deontay Wilder. Now, keep in mind, that is a conspiracy theory. If you disagree with it, that is perfectly fine. I'm not saying that that's fact. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on. I'm not claiming to have any kind of inside information. But as a boxing fan, watching how this man has been denied his title shot after all this time, now he's supposed to get his title shot by 2021. Effectively, the WBC has restarted the timer on his mandatory shot. So whether or not that was done deliberately through a conspiracy, like I said, that is not proven. So I don't want it to be taken out of context. I'm not saying that that's what's going on. That is my conspiracy theory. Hopefully that's not what's going on, but it could be. Now, let me go ahead and touch on Whyte. First off, congratulations to Whyte for his victory over, I believe you pronounce his name, Marius Vach, I think is the correct pronunciation of his name. I've never actually watched Vach. I am aware of him. I remember he had a fight. I think he fought Povetkin. I could be wrong about this, but I think Povetkin fought him at one time and knocked him out. I could be wrong about that. But I remember hearing Mr. Boxing Today 2 talk about him getting knocked out by somebody, and I want to say it was Povetkin. Like I said, I'm not 100% on that. Now, back to Dillian Whyte. So, Dillian Whyte, there's a lot of talk about, does Dillian Whyte still deserve the mandatory position? And a lot of that talk has to do with how out of shape he was for this VOC fight. This is how I see it. Does he still deserve the shot? Absolutely. He fought for that shot. There was an accusation made about him based off of some faulty testing apparently, because UKAD went back on it. And yeah, I think he still deserves his shot. Just because he came in overweight and out of shape doesn't take away from that. He still won the fight. Now, what I will say is this. I do think that Whyte needs to take this shit seriously. And this is where, I'm kind of disagree with a lot of my brothers in the description box of the video. Because a lot of them are, saying, well, he was depressed. He didn't think he was going to be able to fight until next year. And, I get those arguments. I get those points. But if professional fighting is what you do for a living, if that is how you make your living, it is only going to benefit you to be in fight shape. Stay in fight shape, and whether or not you have a fight, when you are able to fight again, you're going to be physically prepared. That way, when you do end up with a fight, you can spend your training camp focusing on your game plan and not focusing on losing weight. There's a reason why fighters like Terrence Crawford, even Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, these are all boxers who stay in shape. And right now, Dillian Whyte, he has an opportunity to get a title shot. Okay, he's already had one title shot that he lost. He has an opportunity to get another one. And he needs to make sure that he is in the best shape possible. Now, I get it. If that fight does end up getting made, he will more than likely have a much longer training camp than he did for the VOC fight. And that is true. However, the more time he could spend on the game plan and less time that he has to spend on losing weight, the better for Whyte. I use Terrence Crawford as a perfect example. He stays in fighting shape year round, whether he has a fight lined up or not. And then when he does get in the ring with somebody, he whoops their ass. He makes it look too easy. And that's what Dillian Whyte needs to understand. Like, yeah, you can get by on mediocre or half-stepping in your training camp with, somewhat mediocre performances. But why just get by when you can impress? So that's where I am with Whyte. Whyte needs to take this shit seriously. The only reason why he should be getting so out of shape is if he's retiring and not going into another combat sport, because, Dillian Whyte was, I believe he was a kickboxer before. So if he's not going into another combat sport and he's retiring, then eat away. But as long as you're not retiring and there is a possibility that you're going to be stepping in the ring or an octagon or whatever, you need to be staying in shape. Because trust me, you get that title shot against Deontay Wilder stays in shape. I know I give a lot of shit to Deontay Wilder, but I have to give credit where credit is due. The man stays in fighting shape. So you need to stay on your A game. I want to see you get your title shot. But I don't want that title shot to be wasted. I want you to be at 100%. I want you to spend your training camp getting ready, setting up a game plan, and not just trying to lose weight, not just trying to get into shape. I know you don't have a weight that you have to meet, but that doesn't mean you just let yourself go. And that's because I want Whyte to succeed. And that's the difference between the UGC, the NBBC, hashtag Come Back to Boxing, and a lot of other channels is that we criticize the fighters that we like. Doesn't mean we don't like them. Doesn't mean we're not fans of them. It means that we want to see them succeed. Because at the end of the day, if Whyte fights Deontay Wilder and he gets knocked out in the first round, I'm not going to make any excuses for Whyte. I'm not. I'm going to have to give Deontay Wilder full credit because it's not going to be his fault that Whyte came in out of shape. Now, like I said, he would get a full training camp, probably will be in shape, but a portion of that training camp will have been to get in shape. Why not just dedicate all the time to your game plan and tightening up certain aspects of your fighting game? There's always room for improvement. Always room for improvement. But that's what I got to say about Whyte. You know, he kind of let me down as far as the shape that he came in. He did beat Vok, so congratulations to him on that. He did beat the UKAD as well. Congratulations to him on that. If he could just beat his disciplinary issues, I'll be more than happy to congratulate him on that as well. For my subscribers, anybody watching my videos, or if you just so happen to stumble on this video, hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace.
Undefeated. Undefeated.